Welcome to Rock and Recovery. I'm your host, Jay. Today, I got a special guest, founder of Traveling Mild Woman Adventures. I have no idea what that is, but we're going to find out.
Yep,
Shannon Whaley. Hopefully, I said that right.
you did.
All right. Well, how's it going, Shannon?
It's great. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to this interview too. As my cats get my attention because they're sitting on I'm in Florida and I've got this little sunroom that's all screened in. They call it a Florida room. And my cats are out there and I've got I live in Swamp Billy area.
Mm.
So I got might be some gators out in this canal. I know there's turtles and my cats, I
Mhm.
think, are chasing the squirrels right now. So, I kind of get sidetracked sometimes. So I'm just going to let you jump right into whatever you want to say, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm the founder of Traveling Mild Woman Adventures. I lead retreats here in Italy. I live in Italy, and I lead retreats for women and femmes who are alcohol free, sober, and I take them on adventures here to explore the land that I love. I have been in recovery for the last 12 years and started using when I was, 12 years old, smoking, digging into friends' parents' liquor cabinets, and then just it went from there. Yeah, so a life of ups and downs and self-sabotage, and finally pulled my shit together and found recovery. And that's when literally like the best life was after all of that,
So
obviously.
leading
Yeah.
up to recovery, what made you decide to? Was it just the end thing to do, trying to fit in, or were you just covering something up? Because I like to say addiction isn't what we start out wanting to do. It's
Totally.
definitely a side effect of the way we cope with whatever it is,
Yeah.
whether that's fitting in, whether that's an abuse trauma, whether that's trauma, physical, mental, or any other kind of trauma, or
Mhm.
just people pleasing. Sometimes addiction just is the side effect of however we coped with what we were going through at the time.
I mean, you know how they say like, "Oh, the gateway drug is cigarettes," or the gateway drug is trauma. The gateway drug is abuse. It's trying to get away from your inner thoughts and demons and, trying to escape the life that you're currently in. Yeah, so I have a long history of childhood sexual abuse. Grew up with abuse in the home, emotional and mental abuse. And I just thought, obviously, like I know different now, but when I was back then, I was the rebel. I was adventurous. I was the pain in the ass kid, the one who was always getting negative attention. And obviously, we know now that it was a cries for help over and over and over again. And when they're not addressed, it's like, okay, well, no one's there for me, so I'm on my own. And then that's how you just fall into the crowd of other rebels and other kids who are being abused and who are also in their own trauma response. And so, um, yeah, it was, I come from a family where my older brother and I are from my mom's first marriage, and then my younger brother and sister are from her second marriage, and they're still married. And there is a very big difference between the two sets of kids and what we look like versus what they look like and what they went through. And it's just it's like a psychological study in one family.
Yeah.
Right, where you can see like, divorce trauma and betrayal trauma and being shuffled back and forth to my dad's house every other weekend, and mixed family trauma, and on top of, sexual abuse happening in the home and stuff. And so, yeah, like of course I was smoking cigarettes and
Right.
using alcohol, and then it
Whatever I
was,
could do to not remember
yeah.
that shit, honestly.
And it wasn't like, this is the thing, because like I fought the like, oh no, no, it's not because of that, but it's not conscious. I wasn't drinking when I was, 13 because, oh, I gotta escape what's going on at home. It was because this is fun. Like, this is interesting. And when I see, what my little brother and sister were like at 13, and they were so innocent and they were into sports and school. And I was like, that was not my reality whatsoever. Like, I don't have a memory of the first time I was abused because it was just always happening. And so that causes serious brain damage in a way, right? Like, it alters your chemistry. And so they're so innocent. And I think of who I was and what I was going through when I was 12 and 13 and 14. And like, I was not innocent. I already had so much shit that I was keeping in because people knew that I was being abused and they didn't fucking do anything about it. And so, like, why would I tell people again and again and again? Like, you just stop telling people, and then
You
that just
absolutely do.
piled up.
That's when you just start isolating.
Hand me the cocaine, hand me the meth, hand me all of this shit, like, because this is my escape.
Yeah. And then you just start isolating, and people, you try to avoid people. I did it for 20 plus years. I avoided people that knew me and wanted to see me better because, hey, I didn't want to be better yet.
Why?
I'm still going through what I need to go through. So I don't want to be anywhere around normal people. Right. The normies. I don't want to be anywhere around these people.
And they're boring. And they, right? Like, I want to hang out with my people. I want to hang out with the people who are getting fucked up. Like, we're partiers, right? And so you surround, like, same, like, I was working in nightclubs, and I was going to raves in Seattle, and it was like, these are my people, right? And they're my people because I don't want to be
really my people, but yeah.
Yeah. And then you get sober and you're like, those are not my people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just doing the same shit that I'm doing. So yeah, I'd rather be with them.
And also, they're way worse than I am. So I don't have a problem.
Oh, the way worse. Yeah, look at dude.
I'm not pissing my pants now. So I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not doing X, Y, and Z, right? Like, because I never touched heroin, thank fucking God.
Me?
Right? But those were the bad. Those were
drugs.
The
bad. Yeah. At least I'm not that bad.
I'm just doing ecstasy every weekend.
I'm doing freaking methamphetamine every day,
Totally.
So like, hey, let's not sleep. I got 30 hours in a day.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah, I said that so many times.
Yeah.
It's crazy the things that we put ourselves through just because we don't want to feel our emotions. It really is what it is.
I mean, and it's now that I'm on the other side of it, right? It's like I didn't have any tools to name it, to address it, to process it, and I was in therapy. I was in and out of therapy when I was 18. But I mean, it doesn't really work when you're using drugs. Like, it doesn't, right? And so I was in and out. And then finally, when I was 30, I had this huge breakup that just absolutely destroyed me and crushed me. That's when I was introduced to trauma therapy and EMDR and group therapy, and right. But I was still using. And I remember sitting on my therapist's couch and I was crying, and I was just like, I want to stop, but I don't want to stop. Like, I wanted to feel better, but I didn't want to quit using because I love house music. Like, I love dancing. I loved the scene, and so I had one foot in and one foot out. And then I was on antidepressants because I was taking like 10 pills a night when I would go out. Like,
you might as well just stay on the illegal stuff.
Kill a small child, right? Like, I would start the night with 2, and then we were drinking. Like, I was using a lot of fucking drugs. And so, but I had one foot in and one foot out. I knew that I was killing myself. Like, I was, and back then,
you wanted to change, but you didn't want to change the lifestyle.
Totally. And fentanyl wasn't a thing back then. Thank fucking God. But like, if I was still back in set, like, I don't think I'd be alive.
Yeah, I know. I 100% concur. It's hard to, because that's your friend group. Not only that, that became an alternate family that aren't going to judge us, whatever else.
We get
And
each
yeah,
other. Yeah.
I knew I didn't want to do drugs anymore, but I didn't want to give up everything that it helped me with, fitting in
Mhm.
or whatever the case may be, to be popular, to have friends again. I didn't
Right.
want to give that up. But then, I realized that those weren't friends anyway. So,
Yeah, I mean, get
I
sober
mean,
and you find out real fast who your friends
who your
aren't.
friends are. Yeah, that whole circle is like either they respect me enough or they didn't
See
like me
ya.
anymore because I was sober now.
Yeah. Well, and you getting sober is confrontational to everybody around you
It
because
makes them
if
wonder what they're doing.
totally, if you think you have a problem, then you must think that I have a problem. And now I'm thinking about my problem and I don't want to think about my problem. So I don't want to be around you anymore. I don't want to hear about anything. Right. And so, like, they disappear, which is,
And I know I was one of the worst people in my friend group. I was the worst. Anything that needed done, tell Jay to do it. He'll go do it. He'll go kick that door in. He'll go freaking collect this. He'll go collect that. And so for me to get clean, and I was literally the worst one.
mhm,
And they're like, geez, why is he? Why?
mhm.
Now it makes them really think.
Yeah. And then they're like, are you counting my drinks? I'm like, well, maybe. I mean, because I know if you're 4 deep, I need to leave, right? Like
Yeah.
if you are doing like if I see your eyes doing a certain thing or you're telling me the same story 2 or 3 times in a row, like it's time for me to dip.
All
So
of a sudden you got really loud for no reason.
right, you're
Yeah.
sitting when
I'm
you're
gone.
talking. I'm good.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So what was that turning point in your life that made
Mm.
you want to we'll say give it a better name? What was your rock bottom?
I didn't so I don't feel like I had one thing. I feel like
There's
I lived at a bottom, but it wasn't rock bottom, and then I would pull myself out of it and things would be fine, and I'd, like, pull myself together. I was still drinking, but, like, maybe I wasn't doing that many drugs, or maybe I'd only go to the club once a month, and I wasn't doing it every weekend, right? And so my life looked like a fucking roller coaster. I got fired from a job for dealing drugs at the nightclub. I, you know, then I got a job at a better club, and I was like, "Oh, I mean, the universe has my back."
right.
And so, there were things that happen, and then I lived by myself in Seattle. I was a fairly successful hairstylist. I had a nice car. I had um I can't even remember, like a Honda Civic Accord, or no, Honda Accord, right? Like I had a car payment, like, so things
You're
looked
checking all the
fine. I could
boxes.
substantiate, right? So it's like
Right.
I just like to let loose a little bit, but then things just like weren't fun anymore. I was the life of the party, so my whole identity was wrapped up in Shannon's here. Like this things are going to get fun cuz I was just fun to be around, and then I wasn't fun to be around. I was starting fights. I was getting blackout drunk, and just a couple drinks in and I was a blackout drunk, and I was like, this
Mhm.
is dangerous. So I had a moment. I was drinking alone at home and probably smoking some weed. And I looked in the mirror and was like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? This is not, this isn't what, I mean, you're like, look, you're like such a fucking loser. Like, yeah, you got like the house and you got that, but like you're home high and drunk by yourself with your cats, and like I had a degree in psychology. I wanted to be a therapist at one point. I wanted to be a university professor and teach psychology, and I was working at Hard Rock Cafe. I was doing hair under the table at a friend's salon and like trimming weed. And I was like, this is not
Yeah.
this is not what we
Bud
like.
tenders.
Come on. Totally. Yes. Yes. And it wasn't legal back then. And so I was always looking over my shoulder. Am I going to get busted? Am I going to come around to a raid? Just like not fun stuff. And so I had an opportunity to move to the Cayman Islands. I had a friend who lived there, and I was drinking one night and was like, hey, I'm going to come over for vacation. And then I said, I'll be there for like a month. And he's like, well, if you're going to be here a month, why don't we just get you a job? I was like, hey, I guess I'm moving to the island.
Yeah, no shit.
Right? So I was like, this is my chance. I need to completely get out of Seattle. I need to change my entire life. This is my new beginning. This is my new start. And I got to the island. I don't know if you ever been to like a tropical place like Mexico or Hawaii. Right. Okay, there. But like the vacation mentality where you're drinking, right? And so you can
Daytona Beach is like that in Florida. It's got that whole touristy vacation vibe.
Now you can like you and your body and your liver can handle that for like a week, and then you go home and you do like a detox. But living in a place where it's perpetual vacation, it's always sunny. I mean, minus like hurricane season, but it's sunny. Other people are on vacation, so they're bringing vacation vibes. It was a never ending party. And and they pour gasoline drinks. There's no pour limit. There's no, right? I was getting fucking shit housed. I was completely blacking out, could not remember things. One of the things that kind of was the catalyst was that I knew that I was going to black out, and I walked to a bus stop and passed out on the side of the street. I don't know how long I was there. I took a little nap. I have no idea how long I was there. And I had heard stories that there had been women and girls that went out to drink and then were literally never seen again, ever. There were no clues. Just
scary.
Yeah. And I walked back and I woke up and stumbled back. But like I could see like when the cars were coming around, like the lights were coming on me, right? So like I am really fucking lucky. I'm lucky that I was never assaulted. I'm lucky that I was never fucking murdered or robbed, right? Like,
or just disappeared, never heard from again.
Totally. So that was, I mean, and I was 34. So come on, like, is this going to be how much longer are we going to do this?
Like, if I don't change, this is going to be a lifelong adventure.
Totally. Like I should. And there were so many people in Seattle who were talking shit and who were rooting against me.
Against you.
Right? She's not going to fuck this up. There's no way that I was like living the dream. I mean, it's turquoise water, white sand beaches, right? Like so many people were jealous. And I was like, if I don't figure this out, I'm going to have to leave because I need to go to treatment. I'm going to get kicked out of the house that I'm staying in. Like I can't afford to live anywhere else. Like, and I was like, it was either get sober or have to go back to Seattle with my tail tucked in between my legs. And I was like,
and there's no way you're going to do that. I already know that. I know that mentality because you know what? The biggest shit talkers, the biggest people
would have loved
talking this shit would love for you to come crawling back. Would love to see you fail in whatever you're doing, just so we can say,
you couldn't do it.
Told you.
You're a fucking loser. Come back in. Yeah, like join your other loser friends. Yeah, and I was like, no.
You're messed up because I'm not going to give you that chance. If you put that, I've got that FAFO attitude, you know, and you tell me I can't do something, watch me.
I'm powered through spite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And that was it. Like, I mean, it took me a little bit. There were a couple things like that was it. There was another thing, like the girls that I was trying to hang out with. I didn't actually like them. They were like the popular girls of the island, but I was drinking and they were ignoring me. And I was like, I don't even fucking like you. I don't know why I'm trying to drink and hang out with you. I think you're all a bunch of bitches. And I took a drink and I got out of the water and I left. I was like, I'm not doing this. So it was just like one thing. Yeah. And I was like,
leading up to that's it, you know?
Yeah. I need to do
that. That was the universe talking again, saying, hey, you know what? You need to
Hello.
wake up. You need to wake up. It's time for you to wake up.
Yeah, yeah. And so, I mean, and that's why I'm saying, like, it wasn't just like one thing. Like me getting fired for selling drugs at the club probably should have been a bottom, right? Me blacking out in public, that should have been a bottom, but it wasn't. So it was it, and this was like 20 years, at least 20 years of going in and out of use. Like I'd pull it together and then I would go back out and and I had been trying for a decade to quit using. And it was just, I didn't, I was away from my family. So I didn't have like family being like, hey, we're worried about you. Right. Like, so there was
Oh
no one
yeah.
really. Because I moved away from my abusive family. So I purposefully moved away
Right.
from them, right? And so, I know a lot of people when they're using and their family's like, we're worried, like we're going to cut you off. Like I managed to stay financially independent. I managed to
You
keep
cut
my
yourself
job.
off.
I managed, right? Because I didn't want anybody fucking with me in that way. Like I'm in
Right.
charge. So
Right.
it was good, but it also
How
was really
powerful was
scary.
that moment where you actually said, "You know what? I'm doing this and nobody can stop me."
Mhm. I was like, "Fucking finally," because, like I said, I mean, it was about 4 years between when I was sitting on my therapist's couch crying, I just want to stop, and then I was finally like, "I'm ready," like, I'm not going to reach any of my dreams or my goals if this is how I'm living my life,
Yeah, and
and
if this is the only thing I've got in life, make it worse than this. Make it,
right.
make me something else.
Yeah.
If this is all I've got in life, this is what I'm going to be in life. Because
This is
I
it?
was literally at that point where there was no reason for me to stop.
Yeah.
You know, I lost my rock bottom is a whole lot different from a lot of other people's. I had to find my wife hanging in my closet. That was my rock bottom.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
at the same time, it's why what's the point of stopping now? What's the
Yep.
point?
Yeah.
What really? I everything was taken. Why do I want to stop? Why? There was
What,
no
so I can
reason.
feel my feelings and feel
Yeah.
all of this?
So yeah,
I'm
so
no.
I can go through the
That sounds
losing the
dumb.
worst thing I ever lost, the
Yeah.
best thing I ever lost, my whole support system. Why do I want to freaking continue? Either take me out, let me do my freaking drugs, whatever, or make me better.
Yeah.
And luckily I chose this path.
Yeah.
I'm kind of enjoying what I'm doing now,
I mean,
you
it's
know?
literally like there's 2 paths. Like you
Yeah.
can keep doing what you're doing and it's probably gonna get worse
Yeah.
because there's so many more feelings and nightmares and right? Like your trauma is significant or it's like, are you gonna once and for all, like,
Yeah.
which way are you going?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And so tell me about getting in. Did you actually go to a rehab or?
I didn't. So interestingly enough, um, in my years where I had my shit together, I went to school and I was a drug and alcohol counselor. So I so I
I
graduated from
laugh.
college. I graduated from college. I have a degree in psychology and I realized I can't do anything with this degree. I need to get some more specialization. And so I went to Seattle Community College and I got my uh drug and alcohol
Okay,
credential.
so hold on. As an addict, were you still using at the time?
I wasn't. And I don't
Okay,
necessarily
so why you got when you got the degree, you weren't using.
not problematically,
Yeah, okay, so you're still
right?
using. All right, so
Yeah,
no,
I was, like we would go out and drink, but it
right.
wasn't like we'd have
It
some
wasn't
wine, whatever. Like
affecting. It
I
was the
wasn't like
weekend thing,
wasted, correct.
right?
So this is what I was saying, like up and down, right?
Yeah,
So I had years where everyone around me is like, oh, okay, she's finally better. Like
right.
this time she's better. And I was working at a recovery center and at a treatment center with girls, with teen
Okay,
girls, which was my dream. I wanted to work with teenage girls around body image stuff and like helping them get their lives together. Perfect. And so in that process, I have gone to hundreds of AANA,
so you got
Al-Anon
the
meetings.
tools by
I
showing
so
up
I
to places anyway.
and I didn't align with the 12 steps. Like that was like happy take the girls there, but I knew in the back of my head, and I wonder too if this is like what kind of kept me from getting sober. I knew that that wasn't going to be my path, and so I had already like rejected the only way to get sober, right? That's drilled in. I knew I was going to have to do it on my own. I knew I was going to have to find my own path. And so that's what happened when I finally decided I need to do this. So thank God the internet existed finally back in 2013. But I was using women, I like piecemealed things together. So women for sobriety, Dharma recovery. I went through yoga teacher training. I really got into fitness. I was reading Robin Sharma. So I was reading like more spiritual self-help books.
Right.
And I was actually implementing the things, not just reading them. So I was journaling and I was really introspective because when you're not using, you have a lot of free time.
Free time. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so much free time. I was like, I literally don't know what to do with myself. And so I just consumed, went on beach walks. I would lay in yoga and just sob, crying, like, you know, the hot yoga, the Bikram yoga, like body sweating, but just like tears. And it was cleansing, but it was also like,
So
I
for
really,
me, it was that what you just touched on is the 12 steps was AA and NA were something I had to do for a judge or to look
Mhm,
good for a judge, or I
right.
was court ordered to do it. Or I was in the halfway house and you've got to go. If it's free time, you get 3 hours out and just go there. All you got to do is get the paper signed and whatever. Okay, so I can play the system. I can sure play that system really well when I
Mhm,
was in prison and all this other time as an addict. And I also didn't do a recovery program or a center or a rehab or anything else.
mhm,
I did it the hard way, which turns out to be really easy, honestly. It's hard to find the motivation to stop
mhm,
and to continue that. But it's really easy once you're actually sober and thinking, I think some of the strongest people I know in recovery have done it by themselves,
mhm.
have found their own program, what works for them, and have done it without all the, oh, let's go to 90 and 90. Let's go to
Right.
you need a sponsor. Bullshit, I'm my own sponsor. I've got a sponsor. Jesus Christ is my sponsor,
Mhm,
you know, and I'll stay that till the day I die. Jesus Christ is my sponsor. I've got the best sponsor, you know, and so it was really hard to sit here and, because I admit what I do all the time. I'm making amends as best as I can. I'm doing the 12 steps. I've done the 12 steps.
mm,
It's a pain in the ass, but I've done them. It didn't do nothing for me. Made me actually want to like, why am I doing this? I want to go back to fucking being the asshole.
mhm.
Honestly, so there's a lot of programs out there and more coming up every year. There's more people realizing that the 12 steps or a formal recovery program ain't always the best option.
Right. Thank God, because it it it's like trying to put I always forget the saying, what a square peg into a round hole. And I would watch the kids struggle with the concepts. I've seen friends who were in and out of the program, and I'm like, at what point are you going to say, like, this isn't working? Like, this structured system actually doesn't work for me. I need to find something else. But because it's mandated, court, right, treatment center, and it's just like shoved down your
It's so
fucking
widely
throat.
recognized that nobody wants to recognize anything else.
Right, right. And I've always been quite independent and found my own way and found my own path. And so I was like, why would this be any different? That if this were, and that, like, as long as you're still alive, like that's what we're going for, right? I mean, and so that's one thing that I just really try to drive home is like there's no one way or one right way to recovery as long as you're not drinking and using and you're alive, like that is your right way. And so keep looking, keep reading books, keep reaching out to people, like keeps because that's what I had to do. I had to keep searching. And I was surrounded by people who were 12 steppers and I went to like I think 2 meetings when I was getting sober and I was like, I am confirmed this is not for me. I have to find something else. And so I am grateful that there were other programs and other books and things out there to help me kind of piece it together.
So after that, you're still in the Caymans, you're still at Party Central, and now you're trying to get sober. How hard was that?
It was very lonely, very difficult. I mean, because when you go to your favorite spot, and it is a tiny, like it is a little blip on the
where everybody
map.
knows everybody.
It is tiny. And so when I moved there too, my roommate, who ended up being my boyfriend, said, be really, really mindful that your reputation will follow you for the entire time that you live here because it is so small. So just keep that in mind as you, and I thank God. So I got there in April, May, June, July, August, September, October. I was there maybe 6 or 7 months before I got sober. So it wasn't too bad. I know that people probably still have things to say or remember that time. But it wasn't years of doing this. It was hard. I would say the first like 6 months, it was a lot of crying, a lot of like, I just wish that I could drink like a normal person. I wish that I could not black out. And I knew from history that if I went back out, it was just a matter of time before I was blacked out again. So I had spent years trying to moderate. Oh, I'm not going to drink tequila. I'm not going to do shots. I'm not going to. One time.
There goes all the fun stuff.
Right, totally. One time I went out and I told my friend later, I was like, I don't know why I got so wasted because I stopped drinking at 12. And she was like, you were buying shots at the bar at last call. And I had blacked out at 12. I did not stop drinking at 12. And
well, at least you didn't remember buying any. You didn't remember drinking, so you weren't necessarily lying.
So I isolated. And the good thing was that my boyfriend had been in AA. He had long-term recovery. So I think at that time he had like 15 years at least.
Oh, wow.
So he had long-term recovery. So
was he very supportive?
Super supportive.
That's awesome.
He knew like, you got to get your shit together because this is not good. And yeah, again, like none of those women that I had hung out with ever reached out to say like, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. No one gave a shit. I'm sure they were like, oh, she's gone. That's fine. Yeah, I didn't lose any friends, like true friends, because I hadn't made any friends. They were all just like drinking buddies. And so it was hard. It was very lonely. But I just really, really had to keep connecting to who I was becoming, who I wanted to be, the things I wanted to do, and just coming back to alcohol does not have a place in that version of me, in that life. And that's what I had to come back to time and time and time again. And then I think this happens now too, 12 years and you're like, I'm fine by now. I could still have a drink. And then I see someone just shithoused, or I hear of someone that I know who OD'd. And I'm like, that is why I can't go back out. Right. I will fucking die.
So what inspired you to go to Italy, which is, that's probably my dream vacation right there anyway.
Yeah.
Most of my family's Italian.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, Italian food. Yeah. Give it all to me. I'll make it all, cook it all, eat it all. Yeah. So go there, first of all.
Yeah.
and then start a business there?
Mhm. So, I traveled to Italy for the first time in 2003, and I was in Florence, and I was like, "This place is magical. I'm gonna live here someday." I don't know how. I thought I was gonna be 60 and rich and retired because that's really the only way. Because you can't really come here and work if you don't speak Italian and if you need visas and blah, blah, blah. So I just thought, "Oh, I'll be rich and retired." Then once I got sober on the island, that's when I started my coaching business, and I thought I was gonna be a yoga instructor and a coach, and I could travel the world and be a digital nomad, and so I didn't know it at the time, but I was setting myself up for this life,
Ah,
and I became a business coach and a coach trainer, and I was working in the industry, and when I left my boyfriend, I was like, I could work from anywhere in the world.
anywhere.
Why don't I just try to get a student visa and move to Italy? And so I did.
On a student visa, how does that work?
Yeah, so I found a school and you can
Okay.
get a student visa because you can't be here longer than 3 months without a
Hmm.
proper visa. And so I found a
Enroll,
school
take one class
and I
a friggin'
enrolled,
semester, and you're good.
bought a one-way ticket, and then yeah, here we are.
So, and that was right after you found recovery, after you got sober.
So it
You
was
did that, or how long
13
after?
4 years. 4 years sober. I moved here.
And I know wine's a big thing in Italy. So, how much of a
Mhm.
temptation has that been, and how do you deal with that?
Good question. I was also worried about that, but I don't actually like wine.
Oh, that's perfect.
So
I hate the shit.
it was a non-issue. Yeah. No, it all tastes like vinegar to me. It's I
Yeah.
was never and in fact, like I had to do wine tasting when I was working in the restaurant, and like I would break out in hives because of the tannins and stuff, and
Yeah.
my whole neck would get bright red, and I was like, I don't even like it. Like this isn't
I don't see the point in it.
exactly. And that is also because I drink to get a buzz on, right? And to get drunk. And so or
And we're
you
not talking Boone's Farm in Italy, that's for sure.
yeah. And also they don't drink like Americans drink.
No.
Like they drink over a time period. Like if they are ordering cocktails, it's maybe just a couple and then they don't even finish them, which is
Right.
how do you order a cocktail and not finish it? Like
I
I don't understand, but they'll
It
leave
blows
half
my mind.
totally, which is like, okay, there's a problem there.
But, it's so ingrained in their culture, the wine, the dinner and cocktail,
Yeah.
the after cognac, whatever it may be,
Yeah, the
brandy.
aperitivo with the
My
limoncello.
great
Yeah.
grandma used to make absinthe, and that was our medical cures.
Yep.
You got a sore throat? Here you go. Drink some of this
Mhm.
green stuff. You
Breathing
got a cough?
fire.
Here.
Yeah.
You need to go to sleep? Here's some more.
Yeah. It's so different. And so, I mean, I was worried too because I had only known sobriety on the island. I had been dating someone who had long-term sobriety, so I had never and I got sober while we were dating, so I didn't know how to date sober. I didn't know so when I came here, like, there were so many firsts, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was 37. I was like, I feel like a teenager trying to like manage all of this and like sober for the first time. And so dating,
Yeah.
and it's a different dating culture. So there was a lot of stuff. And I mean, when I'm struggling, like my brain still goes to because I live alone. So it's like I could drink and literally nobody would know. I
Yeah.
could go out, right? Like I could go to the nightclub, like no one would know. I would know.
I don't have anybody that I need to be
Totally.
accountable to. It's
Mhm.
easy.
Yeah, yeah, and so I feel like I'm happy to tell someone to go fuck themselves, like, if they're trying to get me to drink, like, I've had situations where, like, I haven't been nice about it because if you're gonna I'll tell you once, "No, thanks, I don't drink," and if you're pressuring me, like, I have no problem making this really awkward for you. Um, I feel like what I've had to fight the most have been those thoughts that I could get away, like the sneaky, right? Like
The
I could,
sneaky ones, those
yeah.
little intrusive ones is what they say, the
Mhm.
intrusive thoughts. Yeah,
Mhm.
I could bring out all the NA and AA speak, but I choose not to.
And then one thing that helps me is that I just play it forward. Okay, so like
Right.
also I would not lose 12 years of sobriety for like a mojito. If I'm gonna
Oh.
do this, we're getting a bag. I'm getting fucking wasted, right? Like I'm not, and it'll probably be my last time using drinking ever because my body's not accustomed to that, right? So that is, I don't have an off switch. And I know that. And so, like, why would I ever give up 12 years for a fucking mojito? No.
Yeah,
For
that's doesn't
right?
make
Like, that's
sense.
stupid. And then also, I know because I quit smoking finally. I don't have like a quit date, but I can see real fast if I'm out with friends and they're drinking or having a
How
cigarette. And I'm
yeah,
like, hey, let me just have a cigarette. I'm
and
a
then
pack
that
a day
cigarette will turn right
smoker.
into
I'm a pack a day smoker within a week.
yeah, absolutely, you
And
know?
it just boggles my mind. And so that alone just tells me like this is never going away. It's never fixed. And
Now that you've been clean 12 years, you've been sober 12 years, you're doing the program that works for you. How do you stay that way? What do you do every day, daily to just keep on the same path?
I would say like in a sense, like it's like a
Run me through your
non-issue.
routine
I mean, I don't
on
so
on a normal day. We'll say normal day.
so my winter schedule is much different than my summer
Oh yeah,
schedule.
winter schedules are so.
My winter schedule, I'm in bed until 11 and I slowly like I have my cats here behind me and we slowly leisurely wake up and maybe go for a bike ride and but I live along the sea and so when it's sunny I can, go for a bike. I live in Tuscany, so I can go for a bike ride along the sea and get the sun and the Italian smells and then I start working around 3 and I do client work and that sort of thing and then I have dinner and we watch some Netflix and we
So
go to
you
bed.
stay busy.
Yeah, I mean, and then in the summer and when it's not so freaking cold, I'm up at the gym, I do weightlifting, cycling, I can take a chain to Cinque Terre and go hiking and there's
I
like
have no idea what you said, but you know.
it's like the coastal town that have all of the like colorful buildings on the
Oh,
sea.
okay.
Yeah. So I live an hour from there. Um, and yeah, so I go explore new cities, old cities that I've been to a bunch of times, and I
It
just
works,
kind of live
right?
my life.
They say one of the best forms is getting out in nature. Getting out in nature, getting outside, moving around is some of the best things you can do to for daily self care, self
Mhm.
whatever, being recovery, being sober.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
keeps your mind. Uh, I got to keep my mind active, so I'm one of those people that if I don't have things that are better to think about, then yeah, I'll think about that other things,
Mhm.
So I've got to keep my mind very active, and that's
Mm.
talking to people.
Yeah.
This week I moved into a house, so that was very overwhelmingly stressful, but it's
Mhm.
done, you
Well
know,
done.
and now I got to see some gators and turtles, and that's out my back door, so I'm
Yeah.
happy now.
Yeah.
Because I did come from that party town. I came from Daytona
Mm.
Beach, where it
Oh,
was
yeah.
an endless vacation of fuckery,
Yeah.
literally fuckery. And I'm like, I don't want to be around this.
Mhm.
It's feel my mental health draining. And it's like, nah, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Found a place, moved it, done.
Nice. Yeah, I feel lucky of where I live. It's in this quiet beach town, and in the summer there's lots of tourists, but in the winter, like there's literally nothing to do. And then the trains stop running at a certain time, so I can't go to clubs. I'm not near Florence. I'm not. So and I feel very lucky in the sense that I don't have.
And you're just in wine country, the stuff that you don't like anyway.
Yeah, right. It's just so I feel sometimes that it's just like a non-issue, and I'm like, do I even say that I'm sober and in recovery? Because like at this point, I'm just a non-drinker. Like it's just not a thing. And then I realize like that's like slippery slope. Like I got to be really careful with that because that's not actually the truth. I can get back in. So I don't have cravings, like I don't miss things. I still go out like clubbing once in a while. Like I'm gonna go to Germany and go to a nightclub.
Yeah.
But I can do that sober, and it's not tempting whatsoever to drink or use or anything.
When was the last time you've actually had a thought or a temptation or trigger to actually want to use?
I mean, it was closer to like when I was first getting sober.
Okay.
Because that's hard to answer. Good question. I was so committed to the new life that I wanted that there's never been a point where I've like had a drink in front of me and been like, I have two options right now. Like I've just I never put myself in that position. Even like I've accidentally had a drink, like I've ordered a virgin drink and they gave me alcohol, and like I could taste it immediately and just like spit it out and was like, that was fucking awful. Like I feel it burning, right? And that didn't trigger anything. So I feel like any of those thoughts and like cravings were like 12 years ago, 11 and a half years ago. But I just became so committed to the life that I wanted that was not an issue anymore. Like I was finally ready to be done.
Yeah.
Years prior, people be like, come on. And be like, okay. Right.
And then tasting that Virgin Mary, it'd be like, yep, exactly what I wanted.
Totally. Like, oh, it's a sign. I should start drinking again.
Perfect. Thank you for reading my mind.
Right. But I just, and I would say like, it was even like 6 months into my sobriety when I stopped running. This was like such a pivotal point for me. When I stopped running away from, I don't want to be hungover. I don't want to be throwing up blood anymore. I don't want to be ruining relationships, right? And I stopped running away from the negative consequences, and I started running towards the new life. That like I would not be where I am right now if I was still drinking. I would not be alive, but I would not be in Italy because I just couldn't get my shit together. And so I was doing vision boards, and I had pictures of Italy, and I had pictures of this career that I had created, and the money that I wanted to make, and the things that I wanted to do, the relationship with my nieces and my nephews, right? I would not be allowed around them. I mean, my relationships were really rocky, right? I would not have been allowed to be around the kids. And so once I started and locked into a new identity, this is who I am. This is the Shannon that I want to be. That changed literally everything. And so I feel like that's how I haven't had a like, oh, should I drink? Should I use? Like, it's like, obviously the answer is no.
Yeah. That's awesome. So now tell me more about Traveling Mild Woman Adventures. Why mild instead of wild?
Okay, so this is a story. So back in the day, when I was still using, I thought I was going to be a travel blogger. That was like the big thing back in 2013. I'm like, great.
Blogging, that whole,
Exactly. So I'm going to be this traveling wild woman because that's how people knew me. And I'm going to be a travel blogger, and I'm going to travel and do yoga and do these things. And I'm going to do retreats. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to fucking teach on the retreat, but
I'm going to be a creator.
Totally. And then I got sober, and there I wasn't as bold and brave in doing certain things. Like I wasn't reckless. That's what I want to say. I wasn't reckless. I take calculated risks now. And so my boyfriend at the time on the island was like, "Come on, traveling wild woman. You're not even wild. You're more like traveling mild woman." And so it stuck with me because I was like, "Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong." And so as the years went on, and I've done some retreats over here, I decided to have like a limb of my business because my company name is Traveling Wild Woman.
Mm,
But I have a limb of my business now that leads sober, alcohol-free retreats here in
okay.
Italy. And so that's where that came from.
And they're sober and alcohol-free retreats for women in Italy.
Correct. Yeah.
That's badass.
Isn't it?
So what do you
Because
do on these retreats? You go boating, biking,
yeah.
wine
So
touring?
so the one that I have planned in April, we're going to do a food tour. There's a boat tour. We're going to travel around and look at, go to the cities and go to the markets and visit the villages. And the reason that I created this was because, first of all, like traveling to a country where you don't speak the language, you don't know the things, it's very intimidating. How am I going to book rooms? How am I going to
Right,
book these tours? It just gets really overwhelming on top of the wine culture mindset. That can be really intimidating for a lot of people,
right.
sober people. And so I wanted to take all of that off of their plates. Let me plan all of this for you. I'm going to take you to a part of Italy that I absolutely love. I squeal like a little girl every time I'm there because it's so beautiful. And we don't have to deal with wine lists. We don't have to deal with the how do you say it? Oh, the waiters. Oh, come on, drink wine because they will pressure you,
Oh, yeah, they will.
right? And so all of that's taken care
Sommeliers,
of. Yeah. Oh, come on. And like, I mean, I've had them make fun of me because like I order like a nice big steak and you're supposed to have red wine with a
red
steak,
wine
right?
with
And
steak.
so I say, no, I'm going to have a Fanta. And they'll be, because Fanta is like a little kid's like orange
No,
drink.
I want Coca-Cola, damn it.
Totally, right? And so I'll tell them once, no, sono astemia. I'm sober. I don't drink. And then if they're push it, then I'll get rude. But
So
usually
how
they,
long did it take you to learn the language?
well, that's still debatable.
Ah, so you're still learning.
I'm still learning, yes. No, it took me quite a while because I work in English, all of the things that I do in English. I have English friends, and so I have a unique experience where usually when people come, they're full immersion because they're working or they're amongst
Mhm.
Italians and they have to learn the language quickly, but I work from home, so that was
Yeah,
never
you're
my
kinda like a hybrid fully there.
yeah, yeah. So
I
I'm
might be
trying.
living here, but I'm not really here.
I just hit day 600 on Duolingo, so any day now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be a pro in about, like, another 100 days.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. I'm proud of your journey.
Thank
That's an
you.
amazing recovery story, an amazing story. You sound like you're doing something that you'd love to do, so it's really not a job,
Mhm.
you know? I'm super proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate
I
that.
mean, it does take a lot to come on here and be open and vulnerable with people, and you did a great job. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, my last and final question. I ask this of everybody that comes on here. One thing you want everybody to take away, whether they
Mhm.
be new in recovery or just thinking about it, what's one thing you want everybody to understand?
Feel like the biggest piece is that there's no one way, and that if one way doesn't work for you, just keep searching, keep looking for people who have done it a different way. And yeah, if the 12 steps aren't your thing, just find something, like keep going and find something that works for you.
Absolutely. And sometimes that's just the one right person or two right people that you can just be accountable and that'll keep you
Yep.
accountable to. That
Yep.
might be it all it takes, you know?
Yeah.
It's up to you, but I'm just here to let you know that there is hope. There's always hope. Never stop, never give
Mhm.
up. And that's Rock and Recovery. Till next time, we're out. I'm in America. Florida. She's in Italy. Bye.